I was a school dropout in my hometown, Philadelphia. My mom, dad died when I was 9. And so I left and went into the military at 17. And then when I came out, got involved in the civil rights movement, started to go to college. And I was a young civil rights activist, challenging some of the older leadership. From that, I began to work in the social welfare system and got acquainted how poor people were being marginalized and injured with the helping hand of government. And so I parted company with the civil rights movement at that point and began to work on behalf of low-income people of all races. But I have lost 3 of my family members to violence, a 29-year-old brother who was killed and left 5 children. But that didn't leave me to despair. I used that as an opportunity, a calling. And so I began to work on behalf of low-income people, helping them to develop self-help. Dr. King said that the highest form of maturity is the ability to be self-critical. If you want to go someplace you haven't been, you got to be willing to do something you haven't done. And examining ourselves and moving in a different direction. So now I'm on a course of using God's grace and the influence in the inner city to change things from within the community. A lot of people who speak on behalf of low-income people, but they don't allow them to speak for themselves. Most of them don't live in those communities, don't suffer the consequences of them, and they are injuring those people. But when you you go into those communities, you will find some wonderful people. If you say that 70% of the people are raising children that are dropping out of school in jail, it means 30% are not. They're in violent neighborhoods, but not of it. And so you use the energy and resilience of those people to begin to influence the 70%. And you can build from the strengths of people and develop principles that we can export. So a witness is more powerful than an advocate. And as a consequence, they are able to engage a small number of people who create all the problems. And once you change that small number, it expands to the whole group. So we started in 1 school. We're now in 14. We're able to reduce violence by 25% in 3 months. And so if it works there in Milwaukee, if it works in Las Vegas, with the help and partnership with Operation Blue Shield, we help to take this model to the nation.
To be at the White House to celebrate African American History Month. Here with us today is an incredible leader. It's Bob Woodson. You know Bob Woodson? You will, because he's got an incredible story. Bob joined the Air Force in the 1950s. You don't look that old, I'll tell you that. 1950s, really? Wow, you're in good shape. I want to talk to him later, find out what's going on. While he was stationed in the Deep South, he confronted discrimination firsthand. He then became a civil rights leader, met Dr. King, and was jailed for leading a very peaceful protest. As Bob puts it, even when defeat was all around us, it was not in us. I like that. Over the last 50 years, Bob helped found social enterprise movements and to restore jobs, dignity, and hope within the heart of very, very distressed communities. Bob, I want to thank you very much. You are a very special man, and having you at our place in New Jersey for a little while, and you helped me so much with making a couple of our good choices. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Bob.
I just want to thank God and also President Trump for turning the tables over in the temples. And attacking the status quo that is hostile to the interests of poor people. And I also want to bless you for your administration and the policies of opportunity zones and to giving low-income people an opportunity to help themselves. That's all they want. They want an opportunity to achieve, and your administration is working with us to make that happen. Thanks, you, Mr. President. So nice. Thank you.